Try to change it, and you will ruin it. Try to hold it, and you will lose it. Lao Tzu. In a barren canyon, scored by wind, a smooth stone lay at the bottom, shaped by time, silenced by gravity. The other stones had accepted their place. This is our final descent, they said. But this one stone felt a stirring. At night, it leaned into the wind. When it rained, it shifted slightly. When the sun dried the land, it waited. Inch by inch, season by season, it began to climb. Not by force, but by listening. Years passed. One day, the stone reached the summit. The others below saw it gleam in the golden light and called it a miracle. Nature obeys no fixed destiny. Even stone can rise when it ceases to fight and begins to align. The forces that shape you will also lift you if you stop resisting their direction. To live on prana is not to fight gravity, appetite, or inertia with willpower alone. It is to harmonize with the unseen current that carries all things upward. The less you push, the more you flow. Let breath be your breeze. Let presence be your path. The stone rose because it became obedient, not to the world's expectations, but to nature's invisible rhythm. Let prana roll you uphill. The cure for anything is salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea. Isaac Denison. A weary traveler arrived at a riverbank, his body aching, his spirit fractured. He knelt to drink, but an old woman nearly stopped him. "First," she said, "give the river your pain. He blinked in confusion. How do I do that? Speak it, she said. Whisper to the water. So he closed his eyes and murmured the grief he hadn't named in years. Anger, regret, loneliness. He opened his eyes, and the current shimmered, as if it had heard him. Then he drank. The ache in his chest softened. The weight behind his eyes lifted. The old woman smiled. The river does not only quench thirst, she said. It remembers how to cleanse what you forgot how to carry. Nature does not judge what you pour into it. It does not recoil from your sorrow. It absorbs, dissolves, and transmutes. Healing does not begin with control, but with surrender. Not with fixing, but with offering. In pranic living, energy flows where resistance is released. Water is not merely liquid, it is memory in motion. The breath, like the river, washes what the mind holds too tightly. Breathe easy, my friend. Let the river carry what the mind clings to. Sometimes the first medicine is not to fix, but to flow. In the presence of nature, a wild delight runs through the man in spite of real sorrows. Ralph Waldo Emerson. A boy who could not speak went daily to the forest. He sat beside a tall oak, head bowed, wordless. He did not cry. He did not gesture. He simply sat. Days became weeks. Seasons began to shift. One morning, the wind stirred the branches in a way that sounded almost like breath. The boy smiled. A small sound, like the beginning of a laugh or a sob, rose from his chest. He placed his hand on the bark. "You heard me," he said. In the deep stillness of the forest, something had shifted. Not in the trees, but in him. The forest had taught him that silence is not emptiness. It is a different kind of conversation. One that does not use words, but witnesses them before they are born. Nature listens without interruption or interpretation. It does not rush to reply. When no one else understands, the wild does not need your story to receive your soul. In pranic living, stillness is not a pause, but a feast. Silence feeds in ways the senses cannot explain. The forest is a temple. The trees are listening monks. And you, without needing to explain, are finally heard. Not all healing comes from being spoken to. Some comes from being listened to by the leaves. Don't climb the mountain so the world can see you. Climb the mountain so you can see the world. David McCullough. A woman climbed a sacred mountain, breath short, legs aching, mind churning. Each step became a battle. Each rock felt like resistance. Slipping on a patch of gravel, she cursed under her breath. "Why won't you help me?" she shouted to the sky. The mountain rumbled beneath her, not with anger, but with patience. "I am," it whispered, "but you are climbing too fast to notice." She stopped, sat, and breathed. The wind cooled her skin. The stone beneath her spine was firm and unyielding, yet comforting. She realized the mountain had been helping her all along by not moving, by being exactly what it was. In stillness, she found the strength to continue, not from force, but from a deep alignment. Healing doesn't always come from movement. Some wisdom waits in stillness, in the spaces you overlook while rushing. The mountain holds, not because it lifts you, but because it teaches you to hold yourself. Prana is not summoned by effort, yet it rises in stillness. When you stop fighting the earth beneath you, the breath flows, the energy returns, the fatigue dissolves. Nature, like the mountain, gives power not by yielding, but by grounding you in what does not move. Remember, do not rush the climb. Sit on the rock. Let the mountain heal what ambition hides. The spiral is the fingerprint of the divine, repeating itself until you remember what you truly are. A seashell on the shore, a sunflower in bloom, a spiral arm of a distant galaxy. Each moves with quiet precision, guided not by chance, but by the golden proportion, an invisible code embedded in the structure of life. The spiral is not a circle. It does not repeat. It returns again and again to what seems familiar, but always at a higher level. Growth is not a straight line, nor is it random. The spiral teaches that we revisit our past, not to repeat it, but to re-meet it with more wisdom, more clarity, more breath. You are not failing when old lessons reappear. You are ascending through the same pattern, this time with deeper insight. Energy, like nature, spirals. Prana does not move in a straight path. It flows upward through your spine in coils and waves. Each breath is a spiral returning you to yourself with a new rhythm. In fasting, in stillness, in light, each return to the body is a return to a higher version of you. Remember, you are not going in circles. You are rising in spirals. What seems like repetition is your soul revisiting its own design, this time with power. Autumn shows us how beautiful it is to let things go. Throughout spring and summer, leaves cloak themselves in green. Chlorophyll works overtime, absorbing sunlight, sustaining growth. But come autumn, this mask dissolves. The green fades, and in its place, something astonishing appears. Red, gold, amber. The true colors, always within, now step forward in the absence of effort. Letting go is not always decay. It is revelation. When you release the layers required for survival, what is essential begins to shine. Your deepest beauty is not in what you gather, but in what you allow to fall away. You spend much of your life chasing growth, more knowledge, more food, more validation. But the season comes when subtraction becomes the teacher. The leaf is most radiant when it stops clinging. So too are you. In pranic living, fasting is the autumn of your habits. As you shed food, tension, and mental noise, what remains is color, vibrancy, essence, light. You are not fading. You are finally being seen. Remember, stop fearing the fall. The leaf has never more and was never more itself than when it let go. Your glow lives beneath what you no longer need. Thank you for listening.